Selectman Hill.
Aye.
Selectman McKenzie.
Nay.
Selectman Tullis.
Nay.
Selectman Cameron.
Nay.
Selectman Eubanks. Mayor votes aye. The motion passes. All right. The next item would be consider approving the Board of Mayor and Selectmen to attend the NBC LEO and MML Conference in Jackson, Mississippi, January 11th through the 7th, 2018. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Selectman Hill made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Selectman Eubanks for the second. Board, I would, if members wish to attend either one or both of these meetings, I would just say that if we do register, please try to make attendance. That would be the thing. Selectman Tullis.
I will not vote to send taxes to a political organization. NBC Leo is that. I know that Selectman Brock has said they're one and the same, but they're not. MML, you pay dues, the municipalities pay dues to belong with that organization. The NBC Leo, their mission statement is elect a certain person to political office. That's politics. I'm not going to vote for that.
Yes, sir. Any other comments or questions? Selectman Hill.
Thank you.
Just 1 second, Selectman Brown.
I would like to make note that there are dozens of umbrellas or organizations that are part of the MML and also the National League as well. You have the Hispanics, you have the LBGT community, you have a widespread Latinos. You have any organization or any group that would like to be represented in government, which is politics. They have a group that's going to be there at MML locally, state, and nationally. That's how they're represented. That's how legislation gets pushed. That's how laws get pushed for certain groups. That's been done since fractions, the word that we use today, political parties, have been formed. That's been going on since the beginning, since your forefathers have created this system. But again, we have people, this board, would rather support animals more so than they support people. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
All right. Any other discussion, comments? Selectman McKenzie. I'm sorry, sir.
How has attendance to this meeting improved the representation of the citizens of McComb? I'm curious.
Well,
because I've never heard a report from it. I'm just curious. I may vote yes or no, depending on the answer.
Selectman Hill, have you attended any of these meetings? Would you like to respond? I'll give you an opportunity to respond. Keep it talking.
The Neighborhood First program that I brought back came from Councilman Tyrone Hendricks, which is a part of NBC Leo, and he's the former councilman of the city of Jackson. The disparity study came from this organization. The hate crime ordinance came from this organization. I have a survey that's going out through my ward right now about how can we properly organize the community to help each other. There's a widespread of things that comes from this organization. Networking, when I have questions about my constituents that you may not, for other board members may not be able to answer because they don't have the background that I need this answer to come from. So this organization is needed, especially dealing with the city of McComb. No, I do not just represent African Americans in the city, but the city is majority African American. So when I come home to a city that's majority African American, I need to know something about African Americans, more so than what I can pertain to myself. I need other people that has knowledge in this field of politics that's been dealing with this issue for quite some time. And we have to be quite frank. Minority groups are, so to say, the perception of groups that we are the minority, and we actually are not the minority, we are the majority. There has been a disparity of allocation of funds towards different minority groups, and it's proven. And I think that right now in this country that we live in right now with the leadership of President 25, I think that this organization is very much so needed, just like any other. I wish that they had a organization for any other group that they already do, because right now the attack upon this legislation from our head of government is this organization is very much so needed. And I will extend the hand invitation to this organization, to Selectmen Tom McKenzie and any other board member that sits on the board to come. That room is just not filled with African Americans. We do have some Europeans in the room because they represent a city that have African Americans in it. They want to know how they can help, and it will show your constituents, which is the majority of the city of McComb, that you guys really want to know about what's going on if you come. So the invitation is there. We will not stop you at the door. We will open our arms up to you just like we do anybody else.
Very good. Selectman Brock, you want to speak?
Yes, I did. I think I couldn't hear it clearly, but I think I heard Selectmen Ward 1 speak about NBC Leo was a political organization. Am I correct, Mayor?
The Selectman from Ward 1 made that statement. I think he did.
Okay, he would not vote for us to make that trip. And I would like to say Selectmen of Ward 1 that MML, if he's ever been to the website or some of the classes, then it clearly states there is a legislative body, a body that speaks heavily about legislation and how we affect legislation. That's what it does. That's what he votes for on one hand, and on the other hand, he does not. That's exactly what it does. It educates us about legislation. Items, for example, our last board meeting that we had, Selectmen Ward 1, we voted about a tax issue that MML was leaning toward in regard to holding funds from tax, income tax return, which is so yes, NBC Leo does that, and MML, which he frequently, quite regularly, does the same thing. So I would encourage him to either find out a little bit more about the issue or just go with us.
Selectman Eubanks.
Yes, I'd just like to second Selectman Hill and invite other school board, other city board members to attend NBC Leo, so you can have first-hand knowledge of what exactly is actually taking place. And knows Leo is not an organization that's meant only for African Americans. There are plenty of Caucasian that attend from every city. And I would ask that, especially Selectman McKenzie, who represents, who's a pseudo board. I'm sorry, at large, who represents a broad swath of this community, that he, if anyone else refused, he should attend NBC Leo, and that way, and I asked Mr. Tullis, Selectman Tullis, Ward 1 would attend the meeting as well. Maybe he could get a better understanding of exactly what happens during that meeting. That meeting talks of legislation, talks of you get broad personages that's there that you can meet, just like Mr. Selectman Hill said. So I would ask that all of the selectmen attend at least one meeting to at least gauge whether or not it is what you think it is, or it's something that could be would increase your knowledge. Thank you.
All right, you guys, board, are you ready to vote?
Mayor,
Selectman
we make a motion to amend the agenda to add me to the list to go to this meeting.
Well, you don't have to add your name to it, sir. You don't have to add your name to it. We're approving the board,
And
and
I'm
those.
going to report.
That's right. And those that wish to sign up and go may go. I just ask if you register, please attend. Vote. How do you vote, Selectman Brock?
Aye.
Selectman Hill? Selectman McKenzie?
Aye.
Selectman Tullis?
Nay.
Selectman Cameron?
Aye.
Selectman Eubanks? Motion passed. We had 5 affirmative, 1 negative. Very good. Next, we have receiving comments from Selectman Ronnie Bach regarding the Confederate monument.
Yes, Bill, my comment
The, board, the, monument, issue, at a previous meeting, there was a letter that came to us from the Attorney General answering questions. And it said, you know, I was under the impression reading the law that we had an opportunity to move the monument to a cemetery, a private cemetery in Magnolia that was a home for Confederate soldiers that died in a Magnolia hospital back during the war. Well, the letter that we received from the Attorney General, their opinion, stated that, you know, municipalities could move a monument or statue or whatever it was from, could move if they found a place that they deemed more suitable and more appropriate within the municipality-owned public space. And so clearly, the Magnolia Cemetery and the home for Confederate soldiers is not within the city of McComb. And have been trying to figure out what a more suitable and more appropriate place is within the city of Macomb on public ground. And I haven't found that place versus where it sits. And, you know, $31,000 is the cost to move it to a more suitable, more appropriate place within the city. And I haven't found that spot, Selectman Brock. That's where I am. Yes.
I'm aware of the document I believe Selectman Lawrence sent to Attorney General for an opinion that did not have all the information, accurate information. I did do some research on that monument. It goes back to, let me look here, May the 16th, 1916, when the Daughters of the Confederacy came before the city and asked to erect that monument on the other side of the city hall. I took a minute with the board of the city of McComb, made the, give me a minute here. I never had my hands on the old paper. Yes, May the 6th, 1916. But if you go to that monument and look at it clearly, it doesn't say, it mentions about the resident of Macomb. But if you look at that monument clearly on the front, it clearly says it's dedicated to Pike County. And Macomb is in Pike County, and the Confederate Cemetery that you're speaking about is in Pike County also. But based on the engraving on the monument itself, dedicated to Pike County, then we should have no issue with moving that monument to the Confederate Cemetery in Magnolia. There's no stipulation anywhere, even in the opinion of the Attorney General, about in the municipality. Nowhere. So based on what the monument says, who it's dedicated to, Pike County. Macomb is a part of Pike County, and we have every right in the world to move that monument to that cemetery.
Okay. I would, I appreciate you found in the minutes. I would certainly like to see that. I just would like to have further discussion with the attorney on that. You make a good point. Okay.
Mayor,
Selectman Hill.
I'd like to make a motion to add one additional item to the agenda.
All right. There's been a motion to amend the agenda, add one additional item. Second, would you,
Yes.
like to speak?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to, instruct our attorney to investigate the matter. The matter is that the phone recording of, Richard Coughlin and, report back to us immediately. So I would like for him to start investigating tonight or tomorrow. Not us, our attorney.
I would follow whatever the board says, but when you look at what the city attorney's job description is, investigating is not a part of it, at all. I'm not a police officer, I don't wear a badge. If the board says investigate and report back to us, I will do my best to do that. But that's not something I'm experienced and well versed in, I'll tell you that. And will not hold out that I have any expertise as an investigator.
All right, there's been a motion to amend the agenda to add one additional item. It has been seconded. Did you hear that motion to amend the agenda, Selectman Brock?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, voting on amending the agenda to add one additional item, how do you vote, Selectman Brock?
Yes.
Selectman Hill? Selectman McKenzie?
Aye.
Selectman Tullis?
Nay.
Selectman Cameron?
Nay.
Selectman Eubanks? Motion passes. All right, then there has been, is moved that we would consider instructing our city attorney to investigate the, phone, recordings submitted by Selectman Eubanks in tonight's board meeting, and, was bringing findings back to the board as soon as possible. Would there be a motion and a second to that effect?
So moved.
Selectman Eubanks made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Selectman Hill for the second. Discussion, Selectman Cameron.
Did I not state in my motion that we needed copies of the recording and the,
There was a motion to table.
until we got copies of the recording and the, documentation? Was that not correct?
Well, the motion was strictly to table, to take it off the
I-
table.
Okay. And we need to go back and listen.
Okay, until, there was a motion that was made to table.
Okay.
Selectman McKenzie.
So what are we investigating here? Can we talk about that a little bit here? I mean, what instructions are we giving the attorney to, is he to take possession of the phone tonight, take it home with him so he can listen to it? Can he get information tonight where the recording came from, who provided it? Can we go on and start investigating it right now on these questions? I would like to know how all this came to pass.
Well, obviously, if the board passes this, I would think, if we pass and instruct him, you know, he's gonna have to be able to do that. He's gonna have to have that to I would think, to do it.
And I-
All right.
and I
Selectman
do-
Brock?
Is this on a city phone? I still have the phone.
Okay, hold on a second,
I'm not
Selectman Brock. Selectman McKenzie's not through. Go ahead, sir.
These are all questions I would like to know about an investigation that this board is wanting someone to start. Is this on a city phone? Was this a conversation that this we had, a board member had with Richard Coughlin? You know, I'm just
I'm
curious what we're
providing the copies.
investigating.
You through?
I'm through.
Selectman Brock?
What was, Selectman Law's comment?
He just wants to know the extent of the investigation. What are you going to expect the city attorney to do if you, pass this agenda item? He wants to know the extent of it.
I would clearly think that whatever decision we make tonight for, Selectman Ward 3, not to hand over whatever he has until he's duplicated.
Well, you could erase stuff.
Yeah, you can push it back. But anyway, I just spoke with the attorney here, and I just told him I would provide him a copy of it, send it to his, email, or however he gets his, electronic,
Do we not all get that?
I think we all should.
Shoot it to everybody. Okay. It's voice text, okay. What else are you expecting this attorney to do?
Just,
Mr. McKenzie.
excuse me, I just, before I vote, I wanna know if I'm gonna get the whole package, where it came from, the context in which this data was gathered, the whole audio of it, everything.
No, you're not gonna you're not gonna sit here and pigeonhole everybody into doing nothing. You're gonna get a copy of it,
Selectman Eubanks.
you're gonna get a transcript.
Selectman
And as
Eubanks.
far as who provided
Selectman
it,
Eubanks.
unless you wanna go.
Selectman Eubanks. Would you let the
You
chair
won't.
recognize you, Selectman Eubanks, before you just jump up and start speaking, sir?
I rest.
Okay. Now, would you like to speak, Selectman Eubanks?
Let's say what I had to say.
All right. City attorney's already told you his skill level. All right. Selectman Hill.
Yes, I would like for this investigation to entail our city attorney reviewing the recording, meeting with the supervisors and the other people that's involved with this contract or this interlocal agreement, and figuring out a way how can we terminate this guy immediately. Because obviously our police department and our fire department wanted to speak on the fact that we need our dispatch center, we need certain things within the contract. It's this employee that we're having a problem with. So I want this investigation to entail how can we terminate the employee without, and also keep our contract, to keep the other perks that come within this contract. So it will be more so the employee. I want him to go in, make sure that it's Richard, it sounds like him, and make sure that it's him, and get with us county supervisors, which is the other people that are involved with this interlocal agreement, and how can we collectively get rid of or terminate Richard Coughlin for his action. That's what I want this investigation to entail.
Selectman Cameron.
Based on what?
Obviously, the recording.
What are we terminating
You're
based?
speaking to the chair.
What are we gonna terminate him based on what?
Well, you would, I would, the transcript would probably speak for itself, assuming it is legitimate, okay? You know, and that's something that's to be determined, maybe, he can determine that. You know, I'm telling you, my belief is that if that is legitimate recording conversation, I think this situation takes care of itself, okay? You know, we can do whatever we want to here, but I mean, I just think that's where you are. Come on, board. Yes, Selectman Bach.
I would have to agree based on what I just heard in the board meeting. If this is factual, actual speaking meeting or whatever it was from Mr. Coughlin, then if I had to put myself in those shoes, I would be resigning pretty quick. I think it'll take care of itself.
Thank you. Okay. All right, there's a motion and second to instruct our attorney to do an investigation to answer the specific questions of the selectmen as stated.
Do I need to state that within the motion?
Well, that he is going to get the transcript, get the voice document incomplete. He's going to connect with our Board of Supervisors to discuss and to review the interlocal and to see what the next steps will be, and report back to us as soon as possible.
May I ask one additional thing? It would be a far more effective effort if you also authorize that a court reporter be designated. I don't know who I would say now, but court reporters have a lot more experience than the average person has on disseminating conversations and recording.
Does this court reporter come at a cost?
Yes.
Negative.
You're gonna need the court report. It's about $300.
Would you amend the agenda, would someone amend the agenda item to include a court reporter at a cost of
I mean,
up to,
I'm just saying, use it.
at a court reporter at
$500.
a court, up to a cost of $500.
And they would be the ones preparing the copies and making them available to all board members.
Okay.
Selectman Brock, Selectman Eubanks has amended this agenda item to include a court reporter who would transcribe the voice recording. And it has been motioned to amend that verbiage into this motion. Is there a second? You made the motion.
Second.
Selectman Hill made the second. All right. So, are you ready to vote?
No,
Selectman McKenzie?
I got, Mayor, was this phone conversation that we heard bits and pieces of, a phone conversation between a board member and Richard Conklin?
I have no idea,
Okay. I don't either.
but you'll, that will be determined. Good question, but it will be determined.
Okay.